So this problem we're given the general form of an equation, and what that means is that it's listed in descending order of exponents, starting with x, then y. The process for it says write the equation in standard form and then graph. The process for writing the equation in standard form is essentially the same anytime we have a form that's in general form like this. Essentially, we complete the square with the x terms, and then we complete the square with the y terms. We make sure that we're adding the same thing on both sides of the equations. The first step is we move the constant to the right by adding it to both sides. In this case, since we're subtracting 199, we'd add 199. And then we put the x terms together and the y terms together. So 9x squared plus 18x minus 16y squared plus 64y equals 199. Now we factor out any common factors of each set of terms. So with 9x squared and 18x, we have a common factor of 9. So we factor out the 9 to give us x squared plus 2x. Let's go ahead and complete the square. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. Minus 16 times y squared. Now that's a negative there, so we're going to have to subtract inside here. A minus times a minus is a plus. And then negative 16 times negative 4y would make plus 64y. We're going to go ahead and complete the square here too. Negative 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 squared is 4. Now what we do to one side, we have to do the other. So we have 199. And then with the x terms, 9 times 1 is 9. So we're adding 9 to the left side. We need to add 9 to the right side. And then negative 16 times 4 is negative 64. So we're subtracting 64 from the left-hand side with the y terms. So we're going to have to subtract 64 from the right-hand side as well. Now that we have we've completed the square with each of these, we can simplify this to 9 times x plus 1 squared. You can always multiply back through to make sure that it's correct. Minus 16 times y minus 2 squared. We know it's minus because the middle term, 4y, is being subtracted. Minus 4y equals 199 plus 9 minus 64 is going to be 144. And then we subtract both sides by 144. I'll go ahead and write that down here. Divided by 144, divided by 144. And that's going to give us 144 divided by 9 is 16. So x plus 1 squared divided by 144 divided by 9 is 16 minus y minus 2 squared over 16 divided by 16 is 1. 144 divided by 16 is going to be 9 equals 1. So now we've put it in standard form. X squared or x plus 1 squared over 16 minus y minus 2 squared over 9 equals 1. This tells us that it's going to open up and down. The center is at negative 1, 2. Remember, it's x minus h, so x minus negative 1. And y minus k, so y minus 2, so k is 2. This also tells us that a squared equals 16, so a equals 4, and a squared or b squared equals 9, so b equals 3. So we go to our center, negative 1, 2, and then a equals 4, and a is with the x term, so we go left and right 4 from our center. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. B is 3, and b is with the y terms. So we go up and down 3 from our center. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We make our box that goes through the vertices. And then just remember that we know it's opening. Originally, I think I said up and down. I don't know why I said that. The x squared term is first, so we know it's opening left and right. Whatever term comes first that's positive, that determines the direction. If it's x plus something squared minus y plus something squared, we know that it's going to open left and right. If the y terms came first, then it would open up and down. So then we draw in our asymptotes. And again, those go through the corners of the box that we created from the vertices. We know it opens left and right, so therefore we can take and start with our vertex on the left. Draw in the curve that represents the hyperbola approaching the asymptotes infinitely. Same thing on the right-hand side, start with our vertex and then draw in the curve approaching our asymptotes infinitely. So again, writing the equation in standard form, we put x terms together, y terms together, move the constant to the right, factor out anything that will factor from the x terms and the y terms separately, then complete the square with what's left. Make sure that we add and subtract on both sides. Whatever we're adding and subtracting on the left-hand side, we add and subtract on the right-hand side. And then simplify by dividing to get 1 on the right-hand side to give us our standard form, which again was x plus 1 squared over 16 minus y minus 2 squared over 9 equals 1. We know it opens left to right because the x squared term comes first. The center is at hk, which in this case is negative 1, 2. A equals 4, so we go left and right 4 from the center. B equals 3, so we go up and down 3 from the center. And then we have our 4 vertices. We draw in our box, and then we draw in the hyperbola opening left and right, approaching those asymptotes infinitely.